Hey everyone, I'm Oscar Rodriguez.
What's up? I'm Isaiah Ruiz.
And I'm Ethan Michael, and we're here to get the ball rolling for you to provide you with your weekly sports updates. Welcome back to Titan Sports.
Arizona Cardinal wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins has been suspended 6 games by the NFL for violating their performance-enhancing drug policy. According to Hopkins' brand manager, Doug Sanders, a drug test in November returned to have, quote, traces of elements of banned substance, end quote. Tests in the previous and following months both came back negative.
Hopkins took to Twitter after the announcement took place as he, quote, confused and shocked, end quote, and that he has never tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs in his 10-year career. Hopkins went on to say that he is very mindful about what he puts into his body and will work with his team to investigate what really went down. The 5-time Pro Bowler missed 7 games last season with injuries. The Cardinals went 3-4 in those games, and as well as a loss to the Rams in the playoffs.
However, some good news. The Cardinals acquired wide receiver Marquise Hollywood Brown in a trade with the Ravens, reuniting him with his old Oklahoma teammate Kyler Murray. However, the team will still be missing Hopkins as a valuable offense weapon during the beginning of the seasons. Hopkins will be able to participate in preseason practice and games with the team before the suspension comes into full effect at the start of the regular season. Sticking with football, the NFL draft just took place this past weekend, and we're here to give you the biggest and most important news updates on what these drafts mean to these teams. To start off, the most talked about draft was with the Pittsburgh Steelers and their draft pick, Kenny Pickett, with the 20th overall pick in the NFL draft. Only quarterback to be taken in the first round, and mainly the most talked about quarterback in the draft.
Some other important drafts was with the Jaguars as they selected Georgia edge Trayvon Walker, number 1 overall. Aiden Hutchinson, top-rated talent in the draft, goes to the Detroit Lions, 2nd overall. Malik Willis and Desmond Ridder, the top quarterbacks, left after Pickett was taken by the Steelers. And Jets finally got some good draft picks with Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, and Jermaine Johnson II.
After the first 5 picks all went to defensive players, blockbuster trades caused chaos on the day 1 of the 2022 NFL Draft. The Saints, Lions, and Eagles all traded up for high-profile talent. Then the Ravens dealt wide receiver Marquise Brown, and the Titans traded away wideout A.J. Brown, both for more draft capital.
In the midst of the NBA playoffs, Warriors' Draymond Green was ejected from Game 1 and Sunday after committing a flagrant foul on forward Brandon Clark. But that's not the only issue Green faced in the series. According to CBSSports.com, Green is now fined a whopping $25,000 for flipping off fans in Game 2.
That's right, Ethan. Green has not been holding back during this series. All right, let's talk about Game 2, guys. Game 1 seemed to fire up Green as it is now. Now about midway through Game 2, Grizzlies' Xavier Tillman elbowed Green in the head, and this was just like the cherry on top for him. As he returned to the locker room, this is when the incident with the fans occurred. And although he literally has to pay the price for his actions, Green sees no issue with the fine.
Apparently, Green sees his actions as has been done so well, and with the saying, quote, "So I'll take the fine. I'll do an appearance and make up for the money, but it felt good to flip them off. You're going to boo someone that gets elbowed in the eye and blood running down their face? I could have had a concussion, or if anything, they're going to be that nasty. I can be nasty too. I'm assuming their cheers were because I was about to get fined," end quote.
It seems like Green and Grizzly fans have had tension from the start. You know, just before Game 1, the fans were chanting, "Throw him out," repeatedly. I wonder what's going to go down for Game 3. It's going to be very exciting. Who do you guys got series tied for Game 3?
I got the Warriors in Game 3 and Game 4.
I got Grizzlies, for me, I was really into basketball when like the Warriors and Cavaliers were always like the big team, so I always root for the underdog, and I feel like in a bit in this series of Grizzlies, so I got the Grizzlies.
Grizzlies are certainly the underdog. I think, an important thing to remember right now is that Dylan Brooks just got ejected for the foul he committed on Gary Payton.
Yeah, and he got suspended.
And I think he's their second best scorer, so they already are kind of short-handed, so now they lost their second best scorer. So I got the Warriors winning every game. I mean, Ja Morant's been amazing. He's got that record with Kobe and LeBron now for most 40-point games, but it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. Warriors are deep and they're experienced, so it's
Steph and Clay aren't gonna.
It's gonna be an exciting series to watch, definitely, no doubt. We got your weekly fix of CSU sports coming at you. That's right, Titan Timeline is headed your way. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Titan Timeline. I'm your host, Briana Beverly. Let's hit things off on the diamond as both baseball and softball will be busy with a away weekend series. Men's baseball will face off against the UC San Diego Titans for a weekend series, where the Titans will look to improve their Big West ranking as they currently sit fourth in standings with a 10-8 conference record. Their first game starts this evening at 6:30 p.m., with Saturday and Sunday's games being played at 2 p.m. and 1 p.m. respectively. The Titans will also host the UCLA Bruins here at home on Tuesday at 6 p.m., so stay tuned. The Titans softball team is on a roll right now, coming off a 3-win streak after sweeping Cal Poly in a series last weekend. As they currently lead the Big West standings with an 18-3 conference record, they'll look to further improve their lead as they head to Hawaii to play the Rainbow Warriors for a weekend series, with their first game starting tonight at 9 p.m. local time, followed by a doubleheader tomorrow at 5 and 7 p.m. Track and field are currently hosting their final home meet of the season with the Titans Tune Up, as competition will be happening from 2 to 8 p.m. today. So make sure you get out there and support your Titans. They'll also be competing today and tomorrow in the Big West Multi-Championship at UC Davis for decathlon and heptathlon events. This is all the CSUF sports that I have for you guys today. Stay tuned for our roundtable discussion coming your way.
Things could be stranger, but I don't know how. I'm going through changes now. Could spend a lifetime trying to figure it out. I'm going through changes now that have just begun under a purple sun. There's many reasons we are what we've become. I'm going through changes now. Things could be different, but I don't know how. I'm going through changes, through all of the strangeness. I'm going through changes now.
We are neighbors and best friends.
I love my sister.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
Our family is no less than any other family.
Love is kind. Love is patient.
All right, guys, so let's start off with the NBA playoffs. I know it's been happening for a couple of weeks now. And I know you guys were talking a little bit about the Grizzlies. What are your guys' thoughts?
Well, I mean, it's great to see Devin Booker playing well. I picked the Suns because I think they're the most balanced team we've had in a while. You look at the Celtics and the Warriors, like I said last week, they're very deep. They have a lot of playoff experience, which is scary. I still like the Suns. Chris Paul, the point guard, going off, and it's great to see. I can't wait to see going forward. The Heat too. The way they're playing defense on the Sixers, they don't have Embiid, but I think Bam is the perfect defender for both Embiid and Giannis. So watch out for the Heat too.
For sure.
So I'm still going to rock with the Warriors as far as that series with the Grizzlies. I think Ja Morant did an excellent job the other day with 47 points. He looks like a true up-and-coming superstar in my eyes. But I still got to take the Warriors. I don't think Steph and Clay are going to have the type of game that they had this past time in Game 2. And as far as the Milwaukee Bucks and the Celtics, kind of like what Ethan said, not only are the Celtics deep, but they have a good defense. However, I think Milwaukee has a better defense, and in my opinion, they have the best player in the world right now in Giannis, and he's taking it to him. And I think they're going to go out and I don't think they'll sweep the Celtics, but I think they'll win in about 5 or 6 games.
Right.
I have to disagree with you. You know, I kind of want the Celtics to win, but also, you know, I kind of like the Heat too, especially with them beat out. I think it makes it easier for the Heat to like
big
pave their
time.
way
Yeah.
to the championship. So yeah, so I got the Heat and Celtics right now.
For sure, for sure. All right, moving on to the NCAA transfer portal. Sorry about that. I'm getting excited. What are you guys' thoughts on that? I know it's happening soon, so who are you guys hoping maybe for our team and a CSUF to get?
I'll go first on that one. So, as far as one of the interesting things about this transfer portal, especially when it comes to, it's mainly a big factor being talked about in NCAA football. And especially, I think, we've been talking about this, Caleb Williams, quarterback for USC, just transferred over. That was a big deal. A lot of kids actually are transferring to USC, and a lot of people aren't liking that. But I think what really made the tipping point is this guy, Addison Jordan from Pitt, the Biletnikoff Award winner, who just won the award for best receiver in the nation. Now he's entering the transfer portal, and people are questioning the integrity of the NCAA. Now that I'm all for kids, and especially being a former college athlete and playing with guys who would have definitely benefited from it. I'm all for them having deals and getting money for their name and likeness. I've been an advocate for that for years, but. I don't know. Everybody has their own different opinions and views on this whole transfer portal. I'm all for it. If a kid wants to go to Alabama because he's good enough to play there and he's going to get exposure way more than he did, at a Pittsburgh or at let's say for example, if he was coming from New Mexico, I'd say let him do it. And if they're offering him money too, I'd go for that.
Even better.
It's funny you say that about speaking of Alabama, because that's where before the NIL deal came into place, everybody wanted to go to SEC school because that's where all the games, primetime games would be happening. But now everybody's going over here in LA where they're gonna get more endorsement deals. Like you see it now with USC. Everybody wants to come to USC because they get the most money from coming here.
Well, I think, a big criticism of the NCAA obviously was, the lack of player empowerment. So now they're trying to make that transition. I just think right now with the portal, for instance, I just think it's very new. So I still think they're figuring it out. But I'm all for giving these players as much freedom as they want. If they want to go somewhere else, I mean, if the coaches can, then the players should be able to.
Exactly. I'm glad you said that. I'm so glad you said that because it's true. It happens all the time. Even before the NIL deals, you would always see coaches leave their school in the midst of everything just to go take more money somewhere else, and it would always be at a bigger school. So I'm all for that. I agree with Ethan right there.
I mean, if anything, they're just giving away their money too. Like Caleb Williams has been giving out free beats to basketball teams.
Definitely. So this next topic is baseball. I actually went to a baseball game. I went to the Dodger game, so I got a really good tan. I got sunburned, but it was worth it. Definitely worth it. What are your guys' thoughts on the Dodgers this year? What are your opinions?
Well,
on?
I mean, for a decade now, we got to give credit to the geniuses upstairs, and starting with Andrew Friedman. When he got there, I mean, any team can get a bunch of free agents. I know we're in Orange County. I don't have to tell Angels fans that, but what they've been able to do with the farm system, and picking which players to keep and to go, because that can be really hard with how much money is on the table. So just to be able to develop those players, I mean, big credit to them in the farm system. You saw what he was able to do with the Rays in 2008. They went to the World Series. But now he's like a kid at a candy store with, being in LA and with this amount of money. So shout out to Andrew Friedman.
Right.
Yeah, I have to agree with Ethan on that. There's not many teams like that. I'm a huge Dodger fan, and one of the things I love about not just our players and our managers, but our office, and on top of that, and the fact that we have one of the very few, or just whole organizations top to bottom. Our farmhouse, the way we develop players is top notch, and that's why teams are always so willing to trade for our guys. It may not pan out over there, but with us, they always do. And I already talked about this before, a month ago when Freddie Freeman came, where everybody was talking about how did the Dodgers have all this money. Well, obviously being in LA, that helps out a lot too, but we're also smart as far as signing players. There's some player I wish we kept, but I just think the way that adding Freddie Freeman and having him play extremely well with the money that we gave him, and us still being at the top of the NL West, I think we're going to continue to do better. I also went to a Dodger game last Friday against the Tigers, which we won. So that was it was cool, and I get it. We're supposed to win the World Series, but it's a long season. I always say it's a marathon, it's not a sprint, but we should win the NL West and the NL in general and go back. But it's going to take time, and some of our players like Mookie Betts and Max, they need to play a little bit better.
Perfect, yeah.
Even though, like we have these big time players, but I think they're all working together too. Like it's sometimes like for other teams, they get big players and like sometimes they're in like in a slump. They're not hitting well, but with Freddie Freeman and all these players that the Dodgers have been getting, they've been hitting pretty good. So I like it how it's going out right now. Yeah, they have the odds right now. Every time I see on MLB.com, they're always the #1 ranked team in the league. So, but they just gotta each season they always do good in the regular season. It always comes down to the postseason. So that's where their biggest challenge is gonna come up to face.
Last year injuries killed them.
And we're without Trevor Bauer, and with the amount of money he's getting paid, we're still able to be this top team with that dent in our salary. So, which should be fixed, by the way. But
For sure, absolutely. Well, I definitely love this discussion. We had a great discussion for sure. All right, Titans, that is all the time that we have for today. But don't worry, because we will be back next week with a brand new episode. As always, I'm Briana Beverly.
And I'm Ethan Michael. And yes, here at for your weekly update, follow us on Instagram if you liked our show at CSUF Titan Sports.
And I'm Isaiah Ruiz. Go ahead and give us a follow on Twitter as well at CSUF Titan Sports.
And I'm Oscar Rodriguez. Once again, thank you for all tuning in. From all of us here in the studio, have an awesome Friday, Titans.